Ministry proposes 2-year NYSC scheme. Federal Ministry of Education has proposed the extension of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC scheme from 1 year to 2 years as part of broader reforms aimed at curbing certificate racketeering and equipping Nigerian graduates with entrepreneurship skills. NYSC Director General Olakunle Nafi disclosed this during a courtesy visit to the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, in Abuja on Friday. In a statement released on Saturday by the NYSC Director of Press and Public Relations, Caroline Embu, the court said it is undergoing reforms in response to the recent revelation that over 22,000 Nigerians had used fake foreign degrees to gain NYSC admission in 2024. Dr. Alausa, while commending NYSC for digitizing its mobilization process, stressed the need to extend the duration of national service. He said the extension would allow more time for corps members to fully benefit from the NYSC skill acquisition and entrepreneurship development program. You have done so well as an organization. Let NYSC give people more opportunity to become job creators that will meet the needs of the country, he stated. According to him, the Education Ministry is also working to digitize the verification of certificates for foreign trained graduates of Nigerian origin to combat certificate fraud. Responding, Nafili said NYSC is ready to adopt all necessary reforms in line with national needs and government directives. He further called for the creation of a national database for Nigerian youth studying abroad to track and verify academic credentials. We are also trying to reform the scheme to conform with the present national needs, he noted. The proposed reforms are part of Nigeria's wider education sector cleanup launched in response to the 2024 federal probe that uncovered systemic abuse of NYSC enrollment processes through fake credentials. Now, I think we have talked about the NYSC before on Society Watch, and there are certain things that many people, for example, the implementation of the allowance for the NYSC was just implemented at the end of March, right? And lots of reforms have been called for in the NYSC in regards, looking into the safety, the living condition of youth service members when they travel from their states to serve the country. What are your thoughts when you look at this and this proposal for the 2-year run?
First, I think this argument for 2 years extension is based on the wrong premise. Okay. If there are issues of certificate racketeering, those who are not qualified to do the NYSC getting involved, I don't see how extending the service from 1 year to 2 years will solve that. These things, we keep acting as if they are rocket science and rocket science. NYSC has been there for decades. Yeah. By now, they should have had the relationship with most, if not foreign universities, to say that, okay, please, we will be verifying, we will have means of verifying certificates. After all, some of these foreign schools verify our certificates. Yeah. It's simple. If I wanted to study in foreign school A now, my admission, the admission period is still the same with those who graduated from that schools in that country. So all they already have their means of verifying if I'm a student of the school I claim to have attended. In spite of the fact that I submit my certificate, they just have their way of verifying, and they easily do that without any extension. So why do I have to serve for 2 years? Do you need the extra 1 year to verify if the certificate I used to? That means you would have even allowed me come in before you verify the certificate. Is that what their argument is saying? If you have allowed me come in, even if it is for a day before you verify my certificate, remember the NYSC spend money in taking care of corpers. That means you would have spent money, the scarce resources that the country needs so dearly. You would have spent a part of it in taking care of that illegitimate copper for a period of time. Isn't that a waste? You can verify the certificate for that. Then the question we should ask ourselves is, what was the original idea of the NYSC? Has it been achieved over the years? You see, there have been calls for those who say, the NYSC should be scrapped. I may not throw that line of thinking, but I think the NYSC can be improved without extending the length of time.
By your opinion, is there any significant benefits to graduates when they go for the youth service?
If you follow the original idea, remember the NYSC came into being, I think, in 1973 or so, as one of the results of the Nigerian Civil War. In the thinking of the then government, it was an idea to integrate the Nigerian people, especially with the graduate. It is believed that from section of the country A, if after my 4 years education, and I think that's reasonable also, given that those who have gone through university education will probably play a critical role in developing the country. But it's possible that I was born in Port Harcourt. I grew up in Port Harcourt, schooled in Port Harcourt, primary, secondary school, and university. So my worldview will just be Port Harcourt. So I will just be Port Harcourt or River State as the whole world, which is not even the whole of the country as it is. But if I'm going to play a critical role, there is a need for me to understand other parts of the country. So that's 1 year of National Youth Service was an opportunity for the corpers, prospective leaders to interact with other states, other parts of the country. So me having been born and bred in Port Harcourt and other, let's say I have not had the opportunity of living the state, I'm now thrown in a place like the north, for example, to understand.
Now, given the high rate of insecurity, do you think that is being achieved? Because many times there are certain states that are even a no-go zone currently.
Absolutely.
Right? Do you think that is being achieved, given what we currently have in Nigeria?
Well, there have been challenges to the NYSC. Insecurity is part of it, because like you said, there are some parts of the country that it's already in NYSC, more like policy as it were. That if you're posted to this place, given the insecurity, that if you don't want to serve there, let us know, we will relocate you. And they have been doing that. But you see, in spite of that, there are people who has actually left their comfort zone to other places to interact with people who they didn't know. You know, I mean, they may have a theoretical knowledge that there's a place called Kalapari, but they've not been there. They don't know what they think, or but through youth service, you have been able to interact with them. Some people have contracted marriages that has even gone on to become fantastic marriage. So to some extent, yes. But you see, society evolves. You also understand that many people, like you said, have met their Waterloo, unfortunately, through youth service, which the scheme should look into how to, protect life of corpers, and also, some didn't even die because of the insecurity, wherever they said, but maybe traveling and trusting. Then the living condition of corpers,
which was going to be
I remember vividly where I did my youth service without wanting to mention the name. We had a very horrible camp, and if we have a system that has over the years taken it upon itself, we are talking about leaders here. One of the ways you're going to do, one of the things I think NYSC should even do is that giving people a different worldview. So that if you come from a very terrible background in terms of economy, by the time you go to the NYSC, you see another world. People shouldn't subjected to. I'm trying to look for the right word now because they are serving. We should have a system where, if over the years the NYSC and the federal government has taken it upon themselves to develop the camp, even if they make budget for each camp, each state, by now each state should have had a standard camp. Then we should have had corpers lodge all over the place, so that these corpers will not have issues with accommodation. Quite a number of the corpers, especially those who serve in cities, have accommodation issues, and that is not supposed to be here. Then for the 2 years, I don't see how that plays anything in the scheme of things. You talked about skill acquisition. What skill do you want to teach them in 2 years that you can't teach them within the 1 year? I mean, if it is digital skills, you don't need 2 years. What you need to do is introduce them within that 1 year period. They can learn. They can have a good startup as a peer to this skill, so that if the person wants to go further in it, he can go. But 1 year, I think, is enough to do that. And besides, these 2 years is going to be a strain on government purse, because you're going to take care of them for that period of time. Then also, when you keep coppers for 2 years, the next coppers, where are you going to place them? Remember that some of these organizations, the schools, they operate in a system where as this set of coppers are leaving, they bring in another one. That means if I'm staying longer, then they may have no space to take in the new set that will be coming in. I mean, you don't just, it's not, I don't even think that to the individual copper, how is it going to affect him? These are people that have a life of their own to live after the service.
Thank you so much for your insights on that report.